welcome to this episode of Miss Craftsalot's Lair. If you are a returning viewer, you'll notice that this video is a bit different. I got some news a couple weeks back that really threw me for a bit of a loop. No crafty pun intended. I decided to take this opportunity to give another form of video a try as I process through this news. Of course, I cannot go long without working on a project. However, a lot of my projects are in queues for videos. For this reason, I decided to tackle one of the projects I have merely talked about on this channel, but I haven't really shown much of, if any, of me working on it. These are my Premier Yarn Fruits socks in the colorway of dragon fruit. They have been in stasis for so long that when I tried them on, I realized I didn't really like the fit of them. A quick frog and another cast on later, and I was off again. I prefer to knit my socks toe up, and as a result, the toe shaping gets a little slow. Once I get to the foot stitches, however, things start to go a lot faster. It was also the week of my husband's birthday, so I made a favorite Wisconsin treat. This is brandy slush. Here I am giving it a stir midway during its freezing process. By the time day 3 of this project was here, I had made quite a bit of progress. I continued working on the foot of the sock until our second night of severe weather made it into our area. On this night, I was able to get quite a bit of footage of clouds and lightning. The following day, I went out to lunch with my dad to one of our favorite Mexican restaurants. On the way home, I heard the sound of rushing water in a nearby creek. This really didn't surprise me, saying that we had gotten a lot of rain from the storms so far, and the creek takes on a lot of water to keep the area from flooding. I went to investigate how high the creek really was, and I found this little waterfall. And then it was back to knitting on my socks. I did this while watching live gameplay of friends and family on my computer, and then it was on to night 3 of severe weather.
A lot of you guys are asking what the rest of the night looks like for Illinois, and the threat is actively escalating right now. We do have active tornadoes. We have no checking in Davenport as well. Guys, you already know that severe thunderstorm there, which is quite surprising. I think the storm is going to be out of
The next morning was another sunny day, but the difference this time was that we had no severe weather knocking on our door. This is me knitting my socks while having my project bag on my arm in preparation for a couple of days of being out and about with my husband. I decided not to film our travels, saying things were a little less impressive than I thought they would be. I am very sure that this was due to all of the severe weather and the subsequent flooding in our area, which I honestly can completely understand. We also did things that we needed to do around the house while the weather was calm. And then
Here's another tornado warning for Clark and Jackson counties. This is going to go on for 21 more minutes. This one right here is one of the more concerning signatures that we have. Tornado likely coming into the Hatfield town right now. The town of Hatfield.
Luckily, our area was spared. However, a lot of our surrounding areas were hit very hard during these multiple days of severe weather and very heavy rainfall. As I work on this video, we are still under a flood warning. Even with all of this wild weather, I did manage to finally bind off these socks that have been over a year in the making. I hope you like this different style of video. If you did, please like, share, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon to get notified of when I post more of my antics. Until next time.